Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everybody's Top 3. My name is Cody, and joining me today is my co-host, Kristen. What's going on, Kristen?
Oh, not much. How are you, dude?
I am all right. Today, we're going to do our top 3 horror movies. I tell you, this is probably a subject that's going to be as close to me as any other one that we do.
Same.
So, Kristen, why don't you start with your number 3?
Okay, so my third was hard. It was between 4, but I chose Stay Alive.
Is that the
This is the
video game
one? Yep.
Saw that in theaters.
Did you?
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was cool. I think I talked about this too before that I saw that because I thought it was like this underrated type movie that most people haven't. But when I talked about it, everyone's like, yeah, I kind of saw that. And I'm like, that's rude because I thought I was cool, but I guess not.
Yeah, it's got Adam Goldberg and Frankie Muniz in it.
Yep. Frankie Muniz was the only person I knew in it.
Adam Goldberg, I know from he was in Saving Private Ryan, and he wrote his own movie called The Hebrew Hammer, where he was a Jewish
funny
superhero.
Brother to that one girl?
What?
Like the person you're talking about, was he like that
Adam
douchebag
Goldberg?
brother?
Oh, I don't remember much about the movie, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
with you.
okay.
I just I remember that he's in it, and I don't even know why I remember that he's in it.
Oh, okay.
He's just one of those actors for some reason that just stands out to me. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, that's Adam Goldberg. Did you have him? He is in that movie, right?
Yeah, I didn't write him down because I didn't know who he really was.
Yeah.
I just put Frankie Muniz.
I think it's because when I was really young, I watched the movie The Hebrew Hammer, and I found that movie fucking hilarious when I was a little kid. And so for some reason, he's just always stuck out to me.
Is it funny now? Like if you were
I haven't seen it probably in 20 years.
I'm interested. But it came out in 2006, and they're calling it a supernatural slasher movie, which, yeah, I guess. Because it's
slasher is a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would just call that a slasher movie.
It's supernatural.
Yeah, for sure, a supernatural movie. But slasher's a little, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was directed by William Brent Bell, who co-wrote with Matthew Peterman, but I haven't heard of them. But the coolest thing, it's Disney's only they're calling it slasher movie. It's a Disney movie.
I didn't know it was a Disney movie.
Me either. I saw that and I was like, what?
Because it's PG-13. It's not R-rated, right?
Right. And I Googled it just to make sure because I was on Wikipedia and sometimes they just fucking bullshit. So I and yeah. It is Disney.
Oh, I use Wikipedia for everything.
Really?
Yeah, I love Wikipedia.
In high school, they're like, do not use that for important shit because...
They didn't give it enough credit in high school. I don't know why we're talking about Wikipedia, but they didn't give it enough credit in high school because all the sources are at the bottom. Like, if there's anything you don't believe, all the sources are at the bottom, and you could go and see if it's a reliable source. That's why I use it.
Word.
Like,
you're right.
There's a section that says like external links and bibliography. You go to that, and you can check everything. You can fact check everything on Wikipedia.
So it's bad for lazy people like me because I'm never gonna do that. I'm just gonna believe it because it did fuck up the budget. It really had $9 million, but on Wikipedia it said 12. So.
Oh, maybe they're counting in the promotion budget too.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
So maybe it was the actual filming budget was maybe $9 million plus $3 million for promotion.
Okay, maybe. Well, it was $9 million on that IMB or whatever thing.
IMDb, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the movie's dope because one, it involves video games, so that's right up my alley right there. And I was young in a church youth group. We picked out all these movies, and we would stay at the youth leader's house. And she let us watch this movie. And there's like a scene in there where the dude's wearing like the pig mask fucking this girl. So when I was like 11, I'm like, holy fuck. And this is a church thing, like for youth group. It was weird. But anyways, the movie's dope because in the beginning, they read like this prayer or this saying thing all together, which awakens the witch.
Yeah, because they start a game. In the movie, they play a game online together, right?
Yeah, like a whole bunch.
They all have they're like a group of people that get together and play games online like we do.
Yeah.
And that's how they know each other because they don't know each other personally, right?
Right. And so the guy got the movie from his brother. It was like this had no cover on it. No, it was like an independent
game, right?
Yeah. And they have like one dude's girlfriend. Like they're mostly friends, and then there's this business dude that they don't really know that joined in, and then someone else from somewhere else. But they were all in one room mostly, except the business guy. I think they were all friends. Because the
Right.
one guy who lost all his friends is like upset because he thinks it's his fault because he introduced them to the game.
Right.
So then they read the prayer and awakens the witch, and then you see her like in the background, and then she just literally, how you die in the game is how you die in real life, because she'll like appear supernaturally, which is why I don't think it's a slasher. So
It's I don't know if I'd consider it a
like she
slasher.
does go around and
That's
kill
a real
everybody real
stretch.
quick, but like the point is to stay alive in the game, hence why it's called Stay Alive. And like roses are like what keep you alive. If you find a rose bush, she can't touch you in real life. And then if you see you running in the game, you're running in real life. Like it was crazy to me. Like I didn't watch this weekend because I couldn't find it for free. But
yeah, I fucking loved it when I saw it in theaters, but I was also really young, and I guess it's a movie I just forgot about.
I did watch it this year. I rented it off Amazon Prime, so I thought I was educated enough to talk about it, which I'm shocked I remember this much about it, but I just think it was a dope. How they die is like funny. Like the girl gets pushed off the balcony in the house and is hung by the chandelier. And I loved it when I was younger because the witch goes before she does it, and it fucking kills me. I was waiting for it when I watched it this year. I'm like, do it, and she did. And like to kill her, you had to like find her actual real body. This like weird guy that he kind of reminds me of the lead singer of Breaking Bad. Like I'm not gonna lie, he's like this tall, like pale guy. Like he looks like the lead singer of Breaking Bad.
I don't know what the lead singer of
Okay.
Breaking Bad looks like. I know the music, but I can't picture the guy's face.
Okay, well he looks like him, and he made this game, and he lives in the house that's in the game. But so like all this stuff in the game is in this dude's house, and they have to find it in the end and go through the cemetery, which is kind of like a maze to get to the thing the witch's real body's in. And when the guy was younger who showed everyone the game, his family died in fire. So fire's like his fear. So he had to face his fear because he had to burn down this witch's thing and like put a nail in her head. And like roses all over it. It was weird, but it's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen it. I think the only time I watched it was when it was in theaters.
You should watch it.
So, I mean, what year did you say it came out?
06.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking it was even before that. So I must have been 15.
Yeah.
Huh.
I was like 11, 10, 11 watching it.
I feel like I was way younger than that. Because
Nope.
I barely remember any of the movie. I remember Frankie Muniz is in it, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it, because I liked Malcolm in the Middle.
That
and
makes
also, it's about video games, obviously.
Facts. Yeah. That's probably why that should make sense as a Disney movie, because Frankie's in it. Because he's in other movies too. Like, can't think of any names, but I know he's in Disney movies.
That Disney movie where he was the kid in a wheelchair and a soapbox racer.
What? I was
Just in time. Just in time.
Oh, and is he the kid in Big Fat Liar?
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so there you go.
I saw that in theaters too. That was a fucking great movie.
That is a great movie.
Him and Amanda Bynes and the fucking what's that guy's name? I don't remember what the guy's name is, but
The mean guy
he was
in
a
it, though.
really, really great, well respected actor.
And he's funny. That was a good fucking movie.
Mm.
But makes sense that it's Disney then, because I'm like, why the fuck is this guy in this movie? But now it all makes sense.
Yeah, Frankie Muniz just kind of disappeared, huh?
He went crazy.
Did he?
He actually has like brain issues. Like I watched a documentary on him.
Because he used to be a race car driver too. Like when he stopped Malcolm in the Middle, he stopped acting to be a race car driver.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard of him with that, so it must not have happened and must not have went well for him.
He never became a famous race car driver. That's for sure.
At least he tried.
Dude ain't in fucking NASCAR.
He's like, I can act, so I can do anything.
Well, he used all the money because fucking racing's an expensive sport.
Yeah.
Fucking use all that money from acting to fucking get a race car, but had zero talent probably. Unlike some of the most talented race car drivers probably don't even have fucking or can't even afford a fucking car.
Yeah, facts. To keep up on that shit. But what's your third, dude?
My third is Green Room, a 2015 movie directed by Jeremy Saulnier, starring Anton Yelchin as Pat, Imogen Poots as Amber, and Patrick Stewart as Darcy. You know who Patrick Stewart is?
Nope. Can't say I do.
Professor X.
Okay.
Professor
Kinda.
X. He's the bad guy in the movie, and he does a fucking phenomenal job.
Word. I've never seen this movie that you're talking about, so.
So So, Green Room is about a punk rock band from Washington, D.C. unknowingly performs for neo-Nazis in the Pacific Northwest and becomes trapped in the Green Room after witnessing a murder. And it is, yeah, it is one of the most intense movies I've ever fucking seen. I even wrote down, it scares me more than the other two movies I picked. It's not in my top two for other reasons, but it is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm going to watch it. Where can I watch it? Do you know?
Netflix.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
My notes.
And it's amazing. It's the way that the director, Jeremy Saulnier, builds tension, like, almost immediately is just phenomenal.
Word.
And it just has, it takes place mostly in the one room in the Green Room, which is, why it's called Green Room. Mm-hmm. And just considering that they only had like that one area for the most part, it's just such a fucking good movie.
I'm gonna watch that today. Like, I'm gonna go home and watch it.
I definitely encourage you to.
So, like, how is it scary? Is it because it's realistic to
yes.
you? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, did I write anything on? Okay. I find this movie incredibly unsettling because of how real it feels. Every decision made by virtually every character seems realistic, and that's where the fear lies. It feels like almost anyone could be trapped in this situation, and it's a dreadful feeling knowing if you end up where the main characters are, by no fault of your own, no one will be able to make it out unscathed. Because they're literally just trapped, and they like the way that the Nazis act in this movie is so. It's just unsettling. Yeah. They're all so like happy to murder for their cause. And like this band is innocent. 100 they didn't do fucking shit. They literally just came and performed, and then they tried to leave, and they just accidentally saw one of the Nazis kill somebody. And it's like just from there on, it's like they're just trapped in this situation that they can't get out.
We have those kind of groups locally. Like, you never know. Like, that's sketchy. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I like going through some traumatic kind of feelings.
It's amazing, and it doesn't end well. Because I had the other guys watch it for a podcast that we ended up not recording, or we recorded but not posting.
Right.
And Brad outright said, he's like, I don't like it because it's not a happy movie. It does not end well.
That fucking guy, dude.
But it's even like. It's as close to a happy ending as I guess you could get, but it's not at all. And it's Patrick Stewart just fucking plays the bad guy so well. He seems so believable as this Nazi, and just the violence that they commit throughout the movie without like flinching, just no regard for the human life at all. It's fucking.
Damn, I'm gonna watch that. I'm excited. My favorite horror movies are the ones that don't end well. Like, I don't like happy endings in a horror movie. There shouldn't be, but most of them do.
No, the ones that I picked don't.
Really?
No.
Okay, well, the one I did. Not the first one, though, but, I don't know. Those are my favorite ones. Because that's, like, horror. Like, shitty time. A shitty time.
Yeah. And, I mean, and that's Green Room. Like, just a terrible time for the main characters. And it's really well acted. Not just by Patrick Stewart, but Anton Yelchin does such a great job. I don't know if I want to give a lot away, but there's a scene where he gets really fucking injured at the beginning of the movie. He gets hurt really badly, and you see like what happens, and the special effects are really good. It looks really real.
Wait, is it like Saw? Is it nonstop gore like Saw?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I don't like that.
No, it's more, the horror is more built on tension. There are those parts. Like, there are those parts that happen that it's just really intense, and a lot of times they come out of nowhere. Like, there's a lot of parts in this. There's a lot of times in this movie where you're like, oh, they're gonna be okay, and then they're not.
Oh, I love that.
It just keeps happening where you're just like, oh, okay. Even after they witness the murder, the first Nazi that they talk to is just so calm about everything, and he just keeps telling them, like, listen, guys, we're gonna let you out of here. You're gonna be fine. Like, you guys are gonna be fine. And then he kind of disappears, and he comes back with a gun. And he's just kind of waving the gun around like no problem, just like just relax, guys, just relax. And you almost feel like, oh, he might actually just let them go at certain points. But then,
I'm excited.
And then as it goes on, you're just like, oh, I was stupid for thinking that. I was stupid for thinking that they would just let these guys go after watching them.
So they really have no remorse. Like, they're just like none
at all. No, it's like the opposite of remorse. Like, they're happy. Damn. They're happy to do it. There's a scene. it's going to give a little bit away. There's a scene where one Nazi stabs another Nazi, and to cover up the murder. Like the fucking main guy is like, hey, I'll give you this much money if you take this stab and like get stabbed by this guy for when the police show up.
Wow,
so because the kid Anton Yelchin calls and reports a stabbing, but then the guy takes his cell phone away from him and starts talking to the cops. He's like, oh yeah, there was a stabbing, and then he pays two Nazis, one to stab the other, and then they both get it. The one that does the stabbing gets arrested, and the other kid goes to the hospital.
Word.
And it's one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen.
I'm excited. I'm gonna watch that shit today.
Oh, it's fucking savage. It's an amazing movie. I love it.
It's gonna be a new top 3.
I love it. I was actually almost upset with myself for not wanting it to be on my list.
Like right away?
Yeah. Because I was telling you last night I wanted VHS to be my number 3.
Yeah.
But then when I remembered Green Room, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely belongs up there. Because it just because of the way that it made me feel watching it, you know?
That's how I felt with the South Park one. Like when we were at the end doing honorable mentions, I'm like, oh, this one I like kind of more than, Yeah,
it's like, how did I forget that?
Yeah. But all right.
That's my number 3, Green Room. Everybody should check it out if you like to be scared and uncomfortable.
See, that's why I play like the psychological horror games, because they literally give me anxiety. Like it's like night. I don't know. Like I like that. Like I like being scared or like on my toes.
Yeah, that's Green Room. Like you just want these kids because they're just kids, you know, just a punk rock band. You want them to succeed. You want them to make it out okay, but it's not going to happen. Well, I also wanted to say, because Patrick Stewart he's one of the more, like, he's a very well respected actor. Mm-hmm. You know, he was in Star Trek. He was fucking Captain Picard.
Oh, okay.
He's a really well respected actor, and he saw Jeremy Saulnier's movie Blue Ruin and really, really liked it. And then he found out that they had either a same agent or the same manager, and he went to his agent and was just like, I want to be in this guy's movie.
Word.
Like, you know him. I want, like, whatever he has coming up next, I want to be in it. And that was Green Room. That was his next movie.
That would be a cool, like, to be that respected, to just kind of be like, nah, I want this part in this movie. Like, and then you get it.
But it's a very, I don't have the budget, but it's a very low budget independent movie. So it would be cool. I would say it'd be fucking cool to be Jeremy Saulnier and find out that fucking Sir Patrick Stewart wants to be in your movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That is awesome. I'm excited to watch that movie.
Also, Jeremy Saulnier is a huge punk rock fan, and he wrote the movie as a love letter to punk rock music. But he also wanted to simultaneously be a hate letter for Nazi punks, because that's like a huge movement in the punk rock scene is Nazi punks.
Wow. So it's kind of beautiful in its own fucking morbid way. Like,
yeah, because he's just somebody who always felt like Nazis ruined the punk image. You know?
I agree. Yeah.
And he wanted to make a movie that was just saying like, hey, we don't fuck these guys. These are terrible people. And he did a really fucking good job, because you hate all of them. There's not a single fucking redeemable quality to any of them. They're all just fucking terrible people.
So like Far Cry 5 and just documentaries made me hate neo-Nazis. So like Far Cry 5 isn't about neo-Nazis, but essentially that's how they act. Like a region they take over by hate, you know? So
yeah, it's like a cult.
Yeah. But like I've watched some docs on Netflix about neo-Nazis, and they are insane. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah, it's a terrible movement.
Yeah.
It's a terrible movement, but it's built on, it's built on preying on kids. They're like disenfranchised children.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Neo-Nazis, like they just fucking they're predators. They fucking prey on kids that get beat up. Like you see a kid get beat up by a black person, it's pretty easy to get him hate
life.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get him to hate black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they just fucking they just prey on the disenfranchised. A lot of them, end up being like really easily convinced to not be Nazis anymore by just being, because most of them aren't around black people
or anybody of any accepted color. Really, so here's a group that's accepting you.
Yeah, and it could have easily, if a group of black people had accepted them, they could have easily gone the complete opposite direction.
So wrong place, wrong time type situation.
Yeah,
that sucks.
And just a terrible upbringing,
but there's adults that like legit are hardcore into that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's bullshit too, because it's people who've never been around black people for the most part.
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
all like little like locations that are in the middle of fucking nowhere that they take over, and it's just like, stop. Like, these little families are having a nice like time, and then they come and just take it over and then like kill, like, it's insane.
And it makes gives a bad name for places like where we live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
It's like
dude.
everybody looks at people like people who live in rural areas as like racist, bigoted scumbags, and it's not how we are.
Because we're
but
not exposed to, like, if you don't travel, you're not exposed to other religions, other cultures, other people, and it's like sad.
Yeah, it's easy to hate black people when you've never met a black person.
Yeah,
Like it's so easy.
because it's just closed-minded. You don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
All right, so what's your number 2?
Insidious.
I like Insidious.
I fucking
Insidious
love.
is a
That's
great
one I
movie.
watched this weekend. Just because, honestly, not gonna lie, I love Insidious, but I definitely get confused between Annabelle and all the other Insidiouses because they all tie together with the actors.
I thought Annabelle was from The Conjuring.
It is, but all same actors. It has so.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson, right?
Yep. So it came out in 2010. So the other Insidiouses also include the first one. Like, they tie them all together. So I got confused on it. So I had to make sure I knew what the fuck I was talking about, because the third one ties in the first one.
Yeah, I've only seen the first and second.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry to give that away, but the third one, I think.
I'm probably not gonna watch it. I feel like it didn't
third
get
one's
great
good.
reviews. Is it good?
Yeah, the third one's good. It's a supernatural horror movie, which, like, Supernatural is my favorite. It was directed by James Wan, written by Lee Whannell. The budget was $1.5 million, which kind of shocked me, but I researched it multiple times and it was.
Yeah, it's I want to say that's a Blumhouse picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fairly low budget.
Yeah.
You know, like there was I heard somebody say something about Blumhouse about how they will like make a bunch of shitty low budget movies and collect just small amounts of money off of them. They usually don't lose money. They usually make money, but it's small amounts of money, and they'll kind of save those small amounts up to make a big excellent movie, like a movie that's actually really fucking good, because they have a lot of really bad movies in their production, but that they've produced, but they've also got a lot of really great movies.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be black or white, you know.
Yeah. But starring Patrick Wilson, which is one of the like people in Annabelle, like with his wife, they go around and do exorcisms and shit.
Yeah.
They keep all the haunted stuff in their house, but he's also in all the Insidiouses, so I get confused sometimes based on stories. Then it has his wife Rose, like Byrne, I think is her last name. Mm-hmm. She's the wife in the Seth Rogen movie Neighbors with Zac Efron. She's hilarious, and it's just weird to see her like in this, but she does great. She's really good.
You know what threw me off about her in Neighbors? I couldn't tell, like half the time she had an English accent and half the time she had an American accent.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell like where she was supposed to be from.
Where is she from?
I assume English.
I think
or
she
England.
is.
I really don't know.
She doesn't have an accent in Insidious, but I know exactly what you're talking about in Neighbors. Kind of funny movie.
It kind of just comes out every once in a while. She says, "Yeah, I mean, I like Neighbors. I thought it was funny."
Yeah.
Another movie I saw in theaters.
I don't like Zac Efron. His personality.
I
He's
mean,
a good actor.
I didn't like Zac Efron either, but I liked him in that movie.
Yeah. But as a person, Zac Efron sucks. Anyways, and then Lynn Shay, who's the psychic, she's such a good actress.
Yeah, she was.
I love her.
She's the old lady, right?
Yep.
She was in Detroit Rock City. That's what I know her from.
I never watched that.
Yeah. So I just have like a bunch of useless knowledge in my head.
That's good.
Like
I
just
wish
from
I
actors
did.
and
I do
actresses.
on stupid shit though. Like I have some knowledge on dumb things, but I love that movie because the demon in it. That demon actually scares me. That
Darth Maul?
Yeah, dude. Like, I remember first seeing it, terrified. I watched it in theaters. It actually scared me. Like, it's hard to do that because...
The first time he's on is when he's behind the guy, right?
Yeah,
and you can only kind of see half of his face.
And he's like, his teeth are so... Like, it was... I was like, dude, come on. Like, he's scary.
That's the weirdest like that's one of the weirdest scares for me because that scared me too when he first came on, but it doesn't feel like it should.
Exactly.
Like I rewound it and watched it a couple of times because I was like, why is this so fucking scary? Because he literally just looks like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Like like there should be nothing scary about it at all, but it's terrifying.
See, so when I watched it and I like rewatched it like a few days ago to make sure I still feel the same way, the part when the dad finds his son in the further and he's like sharpening, like they play upbeat music and then he's sharpening his claws.
Yeah, it's Tiny Tim.
Yeah, it's like
foot something through the tulips.
Yeah,
tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah,
tiptoe through the window.
Me. Like that part terrifies me. It's like, I know it's like not real, but like that demon is the only thing that's ever scared me that much. Like it just gives me shivers like to watch it. Like it didn't the other day, but I remember the first time I watched it, it terrified me. And I was like, what was it, 2010? I was however old I was in 2010, but I was old enough to not be scared.
Yeah,
I don't want to do math
right
now, but but like I don't know. I loved it because of that, because it's the first time I actually like got scared from like a demon thing. Like the nun doesn't scare me, the witch and all the other, the bride or whatever, doesn't scare me in those movies, but that demon, dude. And when he's like in the roof or in the corner with his huge claws and that and Insidious, it scares the fuck out of me. But basically the movie's about this kid who, what's that called when you like go in your dreams? It starts with an A. Like pretty much you can leave your body and go into the further as it is in the movie. Like
I know what word you're thinking of, but I can't think of it.
I can't think of it. And so this kid like does it
it's
all
like
the
astral projection.
Yes,
astral projection.
Yep. And he leaves his body every night, but he just thinks it's a dream, so he's not scared of what he sees. He thinks he's like a Superman because he like painted pictures about it. But then the demons like latched onto him because they know he's not afraid. So then they became his friend, then pulled him further into the further. So now he can't escape. So the doctor thinks that this kid's just randomly in a coma when really these demons are trying to get his actual body to like cause harm to humans, which is what that scary demon's trying to do.
The demon's trying to possess him, right?
Yep. But they can't just like do it.
Right.
They have to like, it takes time, I guess. Mm-hmm. So it took like 4 months to get, like, your kid is like in a coma in quotations for 3 months, no explanation. The doctor's like, I don't fight. Like, if this is real, that's just insane. Like, the story behind it is cool.
Was that one supposed to be based on a true story?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know The Conjuring was, and
like
that
The Conjuring,
the girl, the old lady is the same person that Patrick Wilson's wife is supposed to be playing, correct?
Yes.
I can't remember what their names are.
Me either.
But they're famous. Like, they're real people, and they're very famous ghost hunters.
Yeah, Annabelle, same thing. Those Annabelle dolls, even though they make her a lot scary, but it's just those regular Annie Ann dolls that everyone has with the red hair. It's the actual haunted doll.
Yeah, and Annabelle is also supposed to be... It's a real, like, myth. I doubt it's a fucking actually possessed doll, but the doll actually exists, and people say that it's a haunted doll. Yeah. I think it's in, like, a museum somewhere or something like that.
And they're like, she escaped. Last year, they said Annabelle escaped, and everyone was scared. Like, that was a real thing.
Somebody probably just took it out for cleaning or something stupid like that.
They're like, it escaped. But then
it escaped, or was it fucking stolen? Like
Facts. But, like... The kid ends up happy. The kid makes it out.
Well, the first one,
the dad goes in.
Only kind of ends up happy, right? Because then at the end,
continues.
Yeah, because then at the end, isn't the dude's possessed, right?
The dad, yes,
the dad
by the witch So like what happened was when he was younger, he forgets because every time he took a picture when he was a kid, there's this witch behind him, like this bride witch, who like befriended him, and then he could also astro project or whatever. But his mom called the same old lady to help them, and she did, and he got out, but they like got rid of all those pictures and made him forget. So now he has to like relive all that to save his son. So he astro projects, goes, gets his son, comes out, and now he's possessed, which in the third one you like see all that shit.
Yeah, because the second one was about him being possessed, right? Because doesn't the mother like
Is that
runs
the second
away?
One?
I think so.
When he like tries to beat the shit out of his family.
Yeah, I think that was the second one.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the
third one. Because
it goes
right into the second one where he's possessed. Like the second one just goes right into him being possessed.
Oh, okay.
I think.
You're probably right. And then the third one's like, has a whole different family, and it's like before that, because it's mainly they try to on the psychic lady, they like base the rest about her.
Do you remember what her name is? I know, like, I should know
Yeah,
that
I
name.
I didn't write that.
I've heard it like a fucking million times. I've
My
heard that
notes
name.
say Lynn Shay is a real name, and in parentheses it says psychic bitch next to it.
We can just stick with psychic bitch.
Yeah,
because I'm sure the real life version of her is full of shit anyway.
yeah.
You know, like it's all just a fucking scam. No matter
She won
anyway.
an award for Insidious. I forget what exact
the actress
one.
or the person.
Actress. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
She did good.
it's a good movie. It's a really scary movie. It's one
And
of
I
the.
like
It's
her two sidekicks. They're like funny, so it brings like comedic.
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah. They have the cameras and shit.
Yeah, but I love how the scariest part is when she's like looking up at above the kid and like keeps whispering shit for him to draw, and it's like the scary demon, and it's like stop. But I love that movie.
Yeah, that was a movie I just didn't want to watch because I didn't think I'd enjoy it. I was like, oh, this movie's probably gonna suck. I'm probably not gonna be scared, or I'm not gonna care about it at all. And then my roommate ended up like renting it from like Family Video. And he's like, want to watch this? I was like, sure, whatever. And I watched it. I was like, wow, this is actually really fucking good.
Yeah, the demon. I just love it because it was the first time, like I said, I was scared of this creature. Like, that's hard. I don't know. I'm not into it. He still scares me. Like, when I saw him the other day, I'm like, not into it. Like, just stop.
It's creepy. He's creepy. He is fucking creepy.
All right, dude, what's your number 2?
So my number 2 is John Carpenter's The Thing. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, but I haven't seen it.
Never seen it?
I knew you'd pick ones I've never seen. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen the last one.
Okay.
So John Carpenter's The Thing, directed by John Carpenter in 1982, starring Kurt Russell as R.J. McCready, Keith David as Childs, and Wilford Brimley as Blair. It's about an alien disguised as a dog from a nearby Norwegian base begins taking hosts in an American Arctic research station. It's based on the 1938 book Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr. It's the second movie, or the second adaptation of that book, the first being 1951's The Thing from Another World. John Carpenter paid homage to the original adaptation of this film in his movie Halloween by having the main character Laurie Strode watching it on TV.
Oh, word. So it's a dog?
It starts out as a dog, but so the thing is it's like a shapeshifter. It will it kind of consumes living beings around it, and then it takes on their shape. It's like an exact replica of whatever it happens.
It's an alien?
Yes.
That's probably why I would have it. I don't like alien movies. Like, I love aliens are real as fuck. Like, I'm going to say that, but I don't like scary movies that involve aliens. Like the Predator or whatever those movies are.
Yeah, I love Predator.
No, I hate them. Like,
Predator was going to be, I couldn't decide if that was a horror movie or not, because that was going to be my number 3.
I think that's more of a thriller, like a
I would call it a sci-fi
thriller.
action.
Oh, okay.
Personally. Because it's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Fucking shooting shit with guns. Like, it's not really scary.
I hate scary alien movies. They don't scare me.
Well, the thing about this movie is, it's like I said, it's not as scary as fucking Green Room for me. But it's got the best practical effects that have ever been put on TV, on a film.
Word.
Ever. Like, of all time. It all just the transformation scenes of the alien, and there's the scene where because in the movie the alien can imitate any living organism. So the whole movie is about like distrust, and everybody there's like I want to say 7 or 8 guys in this camp in this research facility, and once they find out what this alien is, they're like they don't know who's an alien.
Like, it's you. Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people say it had a lot to do with like McCarthyism. Do you remember what McCarthyism is?
Explain it, but I've heard of it.
It's
so.
McCarthy. I don't remember what his first name is, but he got famous. I think he was a politician, but he would just accuse people that he didn't like of being communist.
Yes. Yep.
So, and it's all around like the anti-communism age of the 1950s, and how people didn't trust their neighbor. Like they didn't know. They thought they didn't trust this person. They thought they were being disingenuous about who they were, because of what they were seeing on TV.
So that,
and that's kind of what that movie tries to portray, because it is an alien movie. It is about an alien, but the horror, the fear in it comes from not the unknowing,
like actual human issues.
Yeah, like not actually knowing who this person is that you're standing next to, and that's where like the actual fear of the movie comes from.
I might check it out.
There's a scene in it that has been imitated, probably 100 times, where they have this test. South Park did it. The lice episode. Do you remember that episode where they all gather around and Cartman has this test that we'll see?
Yeah, and they think it's fucking Kenny and then Craig, and then they're like, everyone has it.
He has like the petri dish, and he puts the thing in it. That's all shot for shot from the thing.
South Park's great. Love South Park.
You're a South Park podcast, but
I could.
I mean, there's hundreds of episodes. We'll start from episode 1.
I could.
But yeah, the scene is just so fucking great. It's been imitated over and over again. Have you ever seen the movie The Faculty?
No.
Well, it's that they imitated it too. The Faculty is basically the thing. It's an alien that starts imitating teachers at a school.
Oh, so it's just different settings, same
basically the same fucking movie, and that's just one of the good things, like one of the best things about the movie is the tension building and the distrust. The first time you watch it, you don't know who the fucking thing is, and they don't know who the thing is. Even like when I was doing research on it, even the whole point of, like, one of the things that John Carpenter said was he didn't want even the characters to know. Like, even the characters that have turned into aliens, they're not supposed to know that they're aliens.
Oh.
Like, it's that's how good the alien is supposed to be at imitating the person next to it.
So you really can't tell who has it because they don't even know themselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's just really great how he builds tension with the distrust and all that. And then just the special effects are all, you know what practical effects are? Like the difference between practical effects and CGI?
I mean, probably.
So like practical effects is what they had to do before CGI. It's all stuff built from one of the things that, like, it's all stuff built from scratch. It's all real stuff made to look,
instead of using animation on computer. Okay.
Yeah, because it's before animation. There wasn't really a whole lot of animation in 1982.
I think that's why I don't like old movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I get so excited about seeing good practical effects in movies.
But there is usually not, which is what steers me away from.
There's you gotta find it. Like,
I know,
if you look, you gotta find it. But it's just everything looks so good. It all looks just so fucking good. The transformation scenes, and there's like scenes where the alien is like halfway through transforming, and it looks so fucking awesome. That's why I'm actually surprised you don't know that much about practical effects, because I know you like makeup a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
But
like I knew it, but it's just like all the movies I've seen is done wrong, like bad. Like,
right.
So I'm just not into it.
Yeah, they did. See, there's something about CGI that throws me out of movies.
Same sometimes.
Especially the older ones. Like, there's some of the older movies, the CGI in the older movies just looks so fucking bad.
I am very picky about.
And I personally would rather see bad practical effects than bad CGI. Because bad CGI will just take me out of the movie entirely. And I have like a respect for the practical effects. I know what went into it. I know all the effort that the people had to put in, and all the creative way that they had to create things, and use their minds creatively to figure out what this alien looks like and what it does. There's a scene where one of the aliens, they find out that fire is the only thing that can kill them, or like at least kills them the quickest.
Yeah.
And when they're burning this guy's body, his head kind of like stretches and falls off, and then the head like sprouts like spider legs and starts crawling around. So it's this guy's like,
that?
Yeah, it looks so good.
Oh,
it looks so fucking good.
Just for that.
And I had like I don't have the budget, but I had the special effects budget. So let me see. Okay, so like I said, probably the greatest practical effects in film history. Rob Bottin is the special makeup effects designer, and one of the original scripted deaths was estimated to cost $1.5 million. Like, just one person's death. They thought it was going to cost $1.5 million. So they had to hire an associate producer to help keep shooting within the budget, which included removing that death scene. So the overall effects ended up costing $1.5 million altogether. But the original budget that they had for the effects was only $750,000. So they ended up doubling their special effects budget.
Dude.
But it all shows on screen. It all looks very good.
I'll have to watch it. I never have. Like, I should. Just old movies. That's why I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03 better than the old one. Like,
I thought you liked the older one better.
Not bad. I like it. I've seen it. I don't know. The video games, like, I like newer games way more because of graphics. Like, it has to be believable to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I get it. And a lot of the reason, like, you might even watch it and be like, this doesn't look good and it's not believable to me. But even though I can't even watch something and say, like, oh, this is unbelievable. I really like the cool practical effects. Like, just knowing.
Like, respect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
a respect thing for sure.
I'll respect it. It's just, it's normally. So, what's the new superhero movie that's the girl? Is it Wonder Woman?
1984.
So I guess there was this effect where, like, she's jumping out of a building and she has like two babies in her hand, but you can tell they're just dummies.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that on a podcast. I was just trying to look for it, but I can't find it. But they were like roasting that. I haven't seen it. I don't watch superhero movies really, but I'm like, that's funny. We're in 2021. Be good. I don't know.
Babies are a tough one to fucking know.
I know.
There was that movie American Sniper that had like just like the worst looking baby scene ever.
Really?
It wasn't even supposed to be like. It's not like he's even doing it. He's just holding the baby, and you can see him like using his hand to move, like his finger to move the baby's arm and stuff, and like it's a plastic fucking baby, and you're obviously you're not gonna watch the thing and be like, that might be a real alien that they filmed,
No,
but
I just want it to be a little believable.
It is.
Okay.
I think if you at least look up like videos of the effects, look up like the dog thing.
Honestly, I can probably just go on YouTube and be like, just type in the thing and they'll have like compilations of like good parts in it or something.
Yeah.
Like YouTube, that's all I do is YouTube things.
Yeah,
I literally watched the walkthrough of San Andreas the other day. I don't even have to play it. I just fucking watch them play it. Because I was interested in it, but I'm like, I'm not going to like the graphics enough to play it, and there's no checkpoints.
I know, that's a movie that would do good for a remaster, or a game,
Yeah.
That would do good for a
with
remaster.
Checkpoints.
Yeah, I don't.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
but
I doubt they would.
They did in the Crash Bandicoot remasters. They put checkpoints in.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, I was going to get it. Because I remember as a child, that pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah. Well, that's just all platformers. They get to a point that you die and then you have to go back and redo everything again. And hope that you don't die in the same fucking spot or before it.
The last mission in fucking San Andreas is like 40 minutes. Like, it's a long fucking thing.
God, I haven't played in so long. I couldn't remember.
You kill your friend, then the cop comes. I don't remember names. Cop comes.
I remember Tenpenny is the cop.
Big Smoke. Is it like Big
Smoke?
Big
Smoke, yeah.
You kill him, and because he's like, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be remembered, blah, blah, blah. Then you shoot him, and then Tenpenny comes, and then you kind of have to like chase him, but save your brother dangling off a fucking fire truck on the ladder.
Yeah.
But you have to kill the one cop to keep Tenpenny on there so you can go kill him.
Yeah.
And it's like a 40
I'm kind of remembering it now because I remember killing Tenpenny because it was really unclimactic though.
Oh really?
Like, yeah, I just remember it being like, oh, he's dead now. It wasn't even really like a battle.
Yeah, and his legs are like off, and you're like, see you around or whatever, but he's dead.
And
like,
he's just like laying there like, yeah. All right, so what's your number one movie?
Okay, Sinister.
Mm-hmm. Also a pretty fucking scary movie.
Yes, that's why I love it. I like to be fucking scared. Like, I just love it. People don't get it, but I love it. But Sinister because, well, it came out in 2012. It's a supernatural horror movie, which all of mine are, actually. I didn't realize that till now. Directed by Scott Derrickson. Budget was $3 million, which I don't know budget.
I bet you like a third of that went to What's His Nuts.
Yeah. And the main dude, that's what I put, is Ethan Hawke.
That's what I meant, Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke. I bet you a third of it went to that guy because he was pretty famous at that point.
Yeah, what movie is he in? Like, I seen him, and I'm like, I know.
Training Day is the one that I know him from the best.
Where?
You ever seen Training Day?
No.
Yeah,
But he's in something that I've seen, and I looked it up, and I'm like, I can't find it, but I know I've seen him somewhere else. So it must have just been something that was on TV.
He's a fucking busy actor. He's in so much shit.
He was busy in the movie too.
He just does everything. I liked that movie a lot. That was a really good movie.
So it's about this author who like literally like goes to the areas where these like murders have happened and shit to try to learn more about it, then write about it, and he's
a true crime author.
Crime author, yep. And he wrote this one book, and he's just trying to chase that fame because it got really famous. His last book before the one he's writing in this movie was a flop, and his wife's like kind of over it. She's like, "Can we just move like out of this?" Because their son has night terrors because of what he like chases, or like usually like supernatural things. So like the kid starts having night terrors, so the wife's like, "Can we please move?" And the guy's like, "No." After seeing all this shit so he goes in the attic, and there's like film of how these kids have killed their families, or like hanging from a tree, like getting ran over by a lawnmower.
What is your favorite death?
The one that was most clever to me was, it's between two. Having the kid put their family in a car and duct tape them in it and shit, then like lock them in there and catch it on fire. That one, or the drowning one, tying them and like taping them to the chairs and just pulling them in to the water and drowning.
Right.
Like, they're all good.
They're great. Like, that was one thing that's great about that movie. Like, why I liked it was just the deaths are so fucking
real.
They're savage.
Like, you could fucking, like, it's crazy to me how the lawnmower scene, I usually close my eyes.
The lawnmower scene is my favorite from that movie.
I close my eyes. It's too gory. It's insane.
It's savage. It is savage as fuck. Just fucking that kid running over all of his. It's like right over their faces, too.
Right over the fucking
right over their faces.
I can't watch that. I always am like, have my hand over my eyes, like, don't.
Have you seen the second one?
I started it. It's on Netflix. I might watch it.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's okay. It's okay.
Tell me how it kind of goes, because I feel like I kind of.
I mean, it's kind of the same story.
I think I did watch that right
after
watching the
he's not like an author. It's like about the police officer who was helping him.
Yep.
I don't remember the actor's name, but he was in the new It movie.
And he goes to that family's house in the middle of nowhere, and that girl's trying to stay away from her husband, so she keeps her kids. Yes, I did watch that. And I stopped watching it because I actually got triggered for some reason when that guy started beating the fuck out of her by the car, or beating the fuck out of the cop. Like, he was abusing, and I don't know why, but it pissed me off when I stopped watching it. Because he was just a dick.
Yeah, and the way they treat that character is, like, because everybody... Like, nobody will believe the girl that he's abusive.
Yeah.
It's a very touchy subject.
It triggered me, and I'm like, I can't watch the rest. Like, it wasn't even really scary. Like, I get it, like the barn or whatever church thing that they have in the yard, scary, but it just pissed me off watching the dude.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because everybody's just like doesn't believe the wife and stuff.
And she clearly is running from this guy, and then the cop's so nice, and he's so nice to her, and it's just
yeah. So you didn't finish it?
I didn't, because.
Do you mind if I spoil it real quick?
Go for it.
I'm not gonna fully spoil it, but it's kind of the same thing where the kid ends up being the one doing the murders, but they actually kill the fucking kid in the second one.
No way.
Yeah, they let the kid burn to death.
Hell yeah. So that probably just ends the series. Like, they're like, okay.
Yeah, they just fucking. I guess that had a really great death scene in it too, where they put a rat in a bucket.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, that was really fucking gross. That was fucking.
Like, they're
that
all
was
in the
tough to
circle
watch.
on the floor, and then just eats through them. That was rough.
Not even eating through isn't the worst part. It's when it eats. Like, through the side, the rats, like, come out the side of the person's body. Like, it looks so fucking bad. It looks so, I love it. I love it.
I hate that. But no, the one scene made me stop watching that. But I didn't really explain the movie. So pretty much there's, like, this cult. Would you consider it a cult? That started it.
Sort of.
It's like a supernatural type cult thing that they follow this guy that's, like, a demon, I guess. And he preys on kids. And he has, like, there's a whole bunch of dead kids. But you only really see that in the second one. Now I'm getting confused between the two because you brought up that. It preys on kids, though, that, like, can be swayed to like follow these like ghost kids to do these things, and pretty much they possess the kid to kill their family is the moral of the story,
Right.
in really really fucked up ways. But the point, like, the dad in the first one is just trying to write a book because of a family that just got killed in this house. He moves into the fucking house that the family died in or got killed in. They got hung, like the kid hung them all, and you just see the dude, like, there's a symbol that is on all the shit that this guy's, which makes it a cult. Like, there's a symbol that they, yeah.
And like the kid, the story is the family all gets murdered and one of the kids go missing.
Yup.
Like,
and
they can never find the one of the kids.
But aren't they? But they're not dead, right? But then you see them as ghosts in the other one. Like,
I mean, they're kind of ghosts,
they
but
don't explain it really.
it's almost like they're dragged into this like realm.
Yeah, this in between thing.
Yeah, and
it's hard
they
to
only come
explain.
back to convince other kids to murder their families.
Because they're like, come follow us, we're fun and whatever. Watch how these people die, and then go do it to your family. The girl like destroys the family in the end, like fucking with like a sledgehammer and shit.
Yeah, doesn't everybody like they don't? That's another movie doesn't end happily, right?
Nope. She's like an artist, so she just fucking kills her family with a sledgehammer and then paints on the walls with the blood and shit in the end. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, and then she goes off into that realm with the fucking demon or whatever.
She walks with him and he's like behind him. Yeah. Like, I just love the way they have the kid kill their families is clever, for one. Very clever and very realistic. Like, my favorite is probably the drowning one. Like, they drug him probably to get them to where, and then he has the kid tie or tape them to lawn chairs, and then they wake up and they pull it by a rope, and like one by one in this pool, and they just drown.
Just pull them right into the pool, right?
Yep. And then you see the demon guy as a reflection in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
It's
scary.
I kind of like that trope of like the demon just kind of being in the background a lot, you know, like in pictures and just sometimes just in the shot. Like it'll be like just a normal shot, normal conversation between two people, but in the background there's just this creepy demon.
Yeah, and not the cop, but the guy writing the book is like, the demon guy possesses his computer a lot to like show him that he's there. Like, he'll like put it on his screen and we're like, look, I'm right here. Like, fucking
yeah.
But the night terror thing scared me for the kid because he's just in a box, like screaming. Like, there's multiple where his son, like, I don't know. It was scary. Poor kid. He dead, but poor kid.
Poor possessed child.
But no, I love Sinister. That was.
You know what? My story of seeing Sinister is the exact same as Insidious. I was like, whatever. I'm not always in supernatural shit.
I am. I love it.
I was like, yeah, I don't really care about seeing that movie. It's whatever. And then the exact same roommate just brought it home from Family Video one day and was like, want to watch this? And I was like, okay, let's fucking watch it. Yeah, I ended up really liking it. Thought it was really good.
So you're not intrigued by him, but like when you watch them, you're like,
yeah,
all right.
It's got to be clever, you know? I don't want to watch Poltergeist fucking 20 times.
Oh, fuck. I hate Poltergeist. Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic, but it just...
Or what, Paranormal, like those movies. Just,
Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
I won't watch them.
Stupid.
I won't watch them.
Shit. When I was little, it scared me because it's like, ooh, go. But it's like, stop. I watched it recently, and I'm like, get out.
I can appreciate it for, like, that's something else, another group of filmmakers that did a lot with a little. But at the same time, I like to see a lot with a lot, you know?
Yeah, that was...
I want something to be, like, kind of extravagant sometimes, and that's just kind of boring to me.
It is boring. And then they made, like, 7 other... Like, there's a lot more Paranormal Activities now, and they're all bad.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah, it's just boring. You're, like, waiting, like, ooh, night 3, and then you're like, what's gonna happen? Door opens.
It's just, it's waiting for a jump scare. Like, it's fucking a whole series of movies where you wait for a jump scare. And jump scares don't really scare me that much. Yeah, exactly. That movie could have just been... That could have been a short. That could have been a part of an anthology where a girl just fucking dies in her sleep.
Yeah, like, let's go. Like, I'm sick of it. Okay, what's your number one?
My number one is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original.
The original, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974, directed by Tobe Hooper, starring Marilyn Burns as Sally Hardesty and Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface. If you don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is about a group of teens traveling through Texas who are stalked by a chainsaw-wielding maniac who wears his victim's skin like a mask.
Which is based on a true story, right?
Sort of, yeah. It's based on the story of Ed Gein, who, I mean, I think they consider him a serial killer, but I think he only killed 2 people.
Word.
He was a grave robber, and he would take the skin from the bodies that he robbed, the graves that he robbed, as well as the victims, I believe, and he would just like wear them around the house. And yeah, and he and Buffalo Bob's fucking based on him too, because I think he would take he had female victims, and he would like tuck his dick in and walk around like pretend he was a fucking woman. And shit like that. And he would take the bones from the graves that he robbed and make furniture, which is another big thing in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
When they go in that house, it's like the bones are like the wind chimes are bones, and it's just...
I mainly remember the 03 one, not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember... I don't remember much about the 03 one, except fucking Jessica Biel walking around in a tank top. But...
You're right.
But yeah, and like in the original, there's a lot of, when they go into the house, there's a lot of furniture made out of body parts and shit like that. There's actually one of my favorite like shots in the movie is the ending where the girl is tied to the chair, and she's like, the chair has the arms of the chair are human arms, and there's like this overhead shot kind of her screaming, and it like she's like centered, and like you can see like the dead arms. That she's got her arms on, and she's like, it looks really fucking cool.
I was young when I watched, so I don't remember much. I was scared then watching him, actually, but the 03 one, my sister made me watch as like punishment of being a bitch, but I loved it. I was like, hell yeah.
The 03 one, I don't think is as scary. It's kind of cool. I think.
It's cool
like,
to me.
It's fun to watch. It's like a fun horror movie. It's like a fun slasher, which is like, that's how a lot of slashers were at the time, because, Scream was really big, like, and the whole point of Scream wasn't even necessarily to be scary. It was just like a fun slasher movie.
Yes, comedy, and
which is another that I would say that would be an honorable mention for me, was Scream, because it's so influential on movies now. It is, like they basically created. I mean, they didn't create the slasher movie. Slashers have been around since the 70s, but they basically created what the slasher movie is now.
Yeah,
but yeah, and there's just something about a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just so gross.
Very gross. Very gross.
It's just, it makes you feel like you need a shower.
Yeah.
When you're done watching it, you're like, what did I like? I feel like I just watched something dirty and bad, and I shouldn't have done that. And that's why I like it. Like it really, just using the imagery that Tobe Hooper used just makes you feel uncomfortable, I like movies. Clearly, I like movies that make me feel very uncomfortable.
Same. Well, so have you seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning?
Probably.
Like, the story that they had of why he did it was like good. Like, the town where he was like this disformed baby, and the mom, like, this random lady found him in a dumpster, so he was just raised like in poverty. Then they like lost all their livestock and stuff because they had a drought. So then he just like, they all ate humans though. Like they probably they like used him to go kill these people to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's what they did in the original. He kidnaps the girl, or no, he doesn't. I assume it's his dad. Yeah, it might be his brother. Like kidnaps
like
the girl.
The family's all in on it. Like they know exactly what they keep him in the basement type shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
I like that.
The scene at the there's like the scene at the end, the same scene I was just talking about, where the girl's strapped to the chair with the human arms, where they have like the grandfather, and they're trying to get him to kill the girl, but he's like decrepit, like he just looks like he's decaying, but he's still kind of alive. So they're like putting the hammer in his hand, and Leatherface is like trying to swing the hammer with his arm, and like he's hitting the girl, but not hard enough to even like, just hard enough to crack her head open, but not even knocking her unconscious. And he does it like 3 times. And he keeps dropping the hammer, and it's just it's rough. It's rough to watch.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's a gross movie from like the very first scene. Like it opens up with a decaying body like in the sun, and from then on it's like that like sets the tone of the whole movie, because it just gets grosser and grosser as it goes, and And I guess Toby Hooper, he considered the movie to be an anti-meat movie. He considered it a pro-vegetarian movie, and he stopped eating meat when he started making it. And that's why they treat all the characters like cattle in that movie.
Oh, okay.
And that's what the whole thing, and like the whole opening when they pick up the hitchhiker and they go on about the slaughterhouse that's in the area, and it's all just supposed to be like an allegory for why you shouldn't eat animals and why you should be a vegetarian.
Damn. See, I need to read into movies, although mine are supernatural, so there's really not a meaning behind it. But
you'd be surprised. You can usually, if you look, you can usually find something.
Yeah. I need to. I never read into things. I just like the basics. That is a good. I knew that was gonna be your top 3 actually, because we've talked about it.
Yeah, and I actually had the privilege to see it on big screen.
Yeah,
which is fucking cool, and it's probably one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites, because you're not very often gonna, being my age, I'm not very often gonna be able to see a classic horror movie on the big screen.
Yeah,
you know,
that is cool.
It was at a horror movie festival, and I remember one of the vendors was like, we were talking to one of the vendors, and he was like supremely jealous of us because he had to stay at his station and at his thing. He's just like, I really wish I could go in there and watch this fucking movie.
Yeah, I'd be jealous too.
And I got to meet the guy who played Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen. Got to shake his hand. They did like a Q&A after, when the movie was done. They brought out Marilyn Burns and the girl, I didn't write her name down, but the girl who played the other victim girl in the movie, she was up there too. And they talked about how they did some of the effects. There's going back to the same scene, Marilyn Burns strapped to the chair. There's a scene, well, in that scene, Leatherface cuts her finger open and puts it in his grandfather's mouth so he can drink her blood. So
I don't want to watch this. Never mind.
Well, apparently they kept doing it. They kept faking it, and she wasn't acting like she was in pain enough. So Gunnar Hansen, the guy who played Leatherface, and this is something he said during the Q&A, took the tape off of the knife, because the knife is just they put tape over the knife,
so it's not sharp.
It looks like a knife, but you can't. Well, it is a knife, but you can't cut with it.
Yeah,
he took the tape off of the knife and cut her fucking finger.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
he said that. He's like, I fucking. Cut
she was right there.
She's like, yeah.
No, she didn't sound fucking happy about it.
Yo, that'd piss me off.
But he actually cut her finger. And another thing he said, there's a scene at the end where he's chasing Marilyn Burns and he falls, and Leatherface falls and cuts his leg open. And how they did the scene, they used a real chainsaw because it's a low budget movie,
right?
And they strapped a piece of metal to his leg. And he was just supposed to take the chainsaw and hit the metal with it. And there was some meat on it, so like it would cut through the meat and into the metal.
So, yeah.
And when it hit the metal, obviously the metal got fucking hot because it's a chainsaw spinning, and he thought he fucking missed the metal and cut his leg open.
Oh my god.
He was like, when it happened, he's like, it got so hot, I cut myself. I just cut myself open with the fucking chainsaw.
Yo, I respect that. That's fucked up.
It's it was actually a really great experience that I wish I could I want to do more often. I want to go to more film festivals and see more Q&As and shit.
When COVID's over,
I would love
to go to that shit.
I would go to the exact same film festival, the Erie Film Festival.
I'm sad that clown dude's dead.
What clown dude?
On the Rob Zombie movies, like.
Sid Haig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another. I'd like to throw that out as an honorable mention. The Devil's Rejects, fucking great movie.
And House of a Thousand Corpses, and I love Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, I don't think that movie got the credit it deserved.
Same. I just watched it. I watched that this week, and I love that movie.
Yeah, I think people just want to compare it to the original, but it wasn't the original. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah.
It's not John Carpenter's Halloween. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween.
And it's good.
Yeah, he did. I mean, yeah, you look at it as a Rob Zombie movie. It's a great Rob Zombie movie. Like excessive violence, just excessive language.
He always drags on endings, though. Always drags on the ending. And Devil's in one of them.
House of a Thousand Corpses was dragged on.
When they're under in that tunnel thing, and you keep, like, just die. Like, come on. Like, just fucking die or live. Like, I'm over it.
Something I noticed last time I watched House of a Thousand Corpses, they throw in a lot of those music video shots and stuff. I think they were pressed for time. Like, I think, because it's not a long movie it is. So I think some of it was like, we got to drag this out, otherwise it's going to be less than an hour long.
You're right. You're right. When they were gonna kill somebody, they're like, yeah,
we got to figure out a way to make this last as long as possible, so we can actually have a feature-length movie, not just a fucking short film. Like that scene where he kills Walton Goggins, and the camera just comes out for like a minute and a half. And it's like, I remember the first time I watched it, I was really young, and I remember watching it and just being like, is this the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Is this movie about to just end right now with this guy getting shot in the head? Like, is that really about to happen right now? But it's still, I do like the movie,
all
though.
Those movies.
Mm.
And then...
There's not much. I didn't like the new one. I didn't like Three from Hell. See it. But there's not a lot that Rob Zombie has done. I go into it with Rob Zombie expectations.
Yes.
So it's hard for him to disappoint me because I know what he's getting at usually.
Yeah.
Like when I watch the movie, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I love. And then another honorable mention, Friday the 13th with that dude in it.
The one from Supernatural? Are you talking about the new one?
No, old. Fuck.
Corey Feldman?
No.
That one?
Hold on, I'll look.
You're talking about the one where his mother's the killer? You're talking about Kevin Bacon?
Kevin Bacon.
He gets the fucking arrow through the neck?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but yeah, the Kevin Bacon one. Because I was little, right? And I'm fucking watching it. I watched it this year. Awful acting. Don't know why I loved it so much, but I love it because of this. At the end, I was watching it with my friend, and you think it's a good ending, and then Jason fucking comes up and grabs her out of the boat, and I screamed. Like, it scared the fuck out of me. So I
what,
just
this last year it did?
No, not this. When I first watched it.
Oh, yeah,
but this year I watched it, and I'm like, this acting is awful, which makes it like there's comedic effect because of it and stuff, but it's like, but I love the movie. I love it.
I mean, it's hard to compare acting from back then to acting now. You know, it's so different now. I think back then, like now, people just really push for realism.
Yeah.
And back then,
Personally,
I think.
Me.
Yeah. And back then, I think actors, they still had like the theater mentality, where it wasn't necessarily supposed to be realistic. It was. Nobody was coming to the movies and being like, I want to watch something realistic. They were like, I want to watch a movie. So people would kind of be more extravagant and overact a little bit more.
That will change my perspective on movies now, just because you said that.
Just think about that next time you watch like an old 70s movie.
It's
like, oh, just think of it almost like a stage play more so than a movie, you know?
And that's exactly what Friday the 13th is. Yeah.
I mean, that's a fucking classic.
I love it.
And then the second one, they just have that whole thing of him jumping out of the water being a fucking dream. Which is kind of lame, I think.
Yeah, it scared the fuck out of me though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay, last question then. What scared you as a kid? What scared you most as a kid?
Not Friday the 13th. Freddy. Nightmare on Elm Street. I was 7.
Do you know which one?
No, isn't that like the original one? Nightmare on Elm Street? Like, I know there's a lot
of
them.
Oh, yeah, they're all called Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was 7, though, so I don't know. It was like, and my older sister, like, made me watch. She always did that shit when I was little, like, made me watch scary movies, and I thought I was cool. I was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to do this, so I had nightmares for a week from that. Like, I was so scared to sleep. I really was. So I won't watch it now. Like, Freddy's my least favorite scary person just because of that.
Just because he still scares you? It's not that you just don't like him?
It ruined it when I was little. Like, I'm not into it. Like, I watched Freddy vs. Jason, stupid movie, first of all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
But
I watched that. It's another movie I watched in theaters.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched that. It didn't scare me because of Freddy. It just ruined Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
It feels more like a fucking action movie than it does a horror movie.
Yes.
You know? And you want to talk about fucking bad acting. They don't even have the excuse of trying to be theater kids like back in the day. They just sucked ass.
Yeah. I watched one Nightmare on Elm Street, though. That didn't scare me either. But just the one I watched, I don't know which one it is, though.
Do you remember, like, any particular death that scared you?
I think the one that we talked about last night while we were playing video games.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Johnny
I think
Depp
that's
being
the one I
sucked
watched.
into the bed.
Yes.
I actually rewatched it again this morning. Just
really? Yeah, that's
cool.
the one. I don't know. Is that the original?
Oh, yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, then that's the one I watched. And I was 7, and it traumatized me for about 4 days. Couldn't sleep. I kept waking up my mom crying.
You know what actually scared me more? Which death in that movie I found creepier was the girl, one of the first deaths, where she gets, like, dragged up the wall. and onto the ceiling,
Yeah,
and then
dude.
like her
That's
stomach
the
just
one I definitely watched.
rips open.
Oh, it scared the fuck
Yeah,
out of
and
me, dude.
it's not even just like it happening, but the fact that her boyfriend is in the same room,
Yes.
like in the corner screaming, and then everybody just says that he's the fucking killer and shit.
Now that I like to be traumatized by horror, I'm gonna rewatch it and just live it.
The first one and the third one are both really fucking
Where can
good.
I watch the first one?
I don't know.
I'll
I have
figure it
no
out.
idea. You'd have to look it up. But the first one and the third one are both really fucking good movies. The second one it's kind of become kind of controversial because it's actually it's like the first movie that the final girl was a gay guy. And they don't really say he's gay, but it's got a lot of homosexual overtones in it.
Oh.
Like it's now people look at it as like the first gay horror movie now.
Oh.
And it did not do well when it first came out. It's considered one of the worst ones.
I probably won't. I'm just gonna watch the first one, just relive it. You know.
The first one's really
Face my
good.
fears.
Freddy Krueger is a different character in the first one.
Yeah.
So you know how, like, especially in Freddy vs. Jason, he's got all those stupid puns and says
Yeah.
stupid shit, tries
Like
to
on
be
Rick
funny.
And Morty.
Yeah, exactly. In the first one, he's not really in it that much.
No, he's scary.
Yeah,
He's
and
fucking terrifying.
a lot of times he's in the shadows, and he just says scary shit and just kind of shows up and laughs and shit like that.
I
you
just
know?
remember being little and literally seeing him every time I like closed my eyes. Like that's all I thought about. I'm like, I'm gonna die when I sleep, so I couldn't. And then I finally got over it. It took like 4 or 5 days, but
He's a terrifying character.
yeah, dude.
Like, sometimes I wish he didn't go that fucking goofy punny route.
Yeah,
He
no.
was just a scary guy.
Freddy vs. Jason was awful because of that. Like it's just jokes. And is that the one when they're trying to keep them awake? Like it's just like these funny kids and they're like in the back of an ambulance or something and they're like trying to stay awake. Or they're like
I mean, they at a certain point in every one of the movies, they try to stay awake.
the kid like is getting out of a psych ward though. Is that Freddy vs. Jason? And he's trying to stay awake because he keeps seeing, and he goes to a party to see his girlfriend or some shit.
They have that big party with in like the cornfield, and Freddy shows up and just starts. Not Freddy, Jason shows up and just starts chopping kids in half.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And the whole thing is supposed to be they use Jason to try and bring back Freddy. Or Freddy uses Jason to try and bring himself back because he wants Jason to commit these murders and he wants everybody to think Freddy's the one who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dumb.
it's dumb. It's a dumb fucking movie. That's right, Brad.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
was just
dumb
gonna say
fucking
that.
movie.
Like, Brad, you hear that? Dumb.
Dumb.
Watch the first one. That one's so scary.
The first one's terrifying.
I'm gonna
Just the
watch
first Friday the 13th is terrifying too. Well, not I don't know, like maybe terrifying isn't the word, but it's good. It's actually got a good like twist ending and shit. You know, it's
Yeah.
actually written well. Whereas it seems like fucking Freddy vs. Jason was just let's ham this up. Yeah,
Bring him back up. Bring him back. Yeah.
It's almost too meta. They're almost too aware of who the characters are at that point. You know?
Yeah, it's not a good movie. Brad, it sucks.
So, the thing that scared me the most when I was a kid wasn't a horror movie. It was actually The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, that movie scared the fuck out of me.
I've
I don't
never
think
seen
I
it.
ever watched it the whole way through when I was younger. I think I see it the whole way through now, but I couldn't make it past the first scene. It's like the first scene is like the song, and they're just introducing Halloween Town
Yeah.
in it, and just the animation just scared the shit out of me. Like the characters in it were just so creepily
Who's
created.
the dude that does that animation? What's his name?
It got Tim Burton got a lot of credit for it, but
Yeah, it's
I don't think he had as big of a hand in it as what people give him credit. I think there's another guy because a lot like I actually just learned this. You know the movie Coraline?
Yeah.
Seems like a Tim Burton movie,
That's a scary fucking movie.
but it's not. It looks like a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the other guy that helped create Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's Tim Burton.
Yeah, love that movie. And it's kind of spooky. Like it's like whatever, but like I love his animation.
Alice in Wonderland, like the old ones, like they're one of those movies that's supposed to be a kids movie that's actually kind of creepy.
Well, most old Disney movies are
Like,
fucking.
And what's the other one Tim Burton did? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh hell yeah!
That movie was scary. The original.
Loved it.
That movie was scary.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
fucking the scene when they're in the boat going through the fucking. That's another thing that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
These like midgets come out and,
And
they're
just
like,
start singing.
they're like, you fucking died.
It's always a child. It's about that movie is about children being assholes and getting killed for
I
it.
love it.
It's insane.
Willy Wonka's my hero.
With the song he sings, the fucking dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
There's no way of knowing which direction we are
love
going.
Oh fuck, I love those movies. I love Tim Burton. He's great.
I liked that fucking guy. What's his name? He was in all those fucking Richard Pryor movies.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name now. I'm a little bit ashamed. Gene Wilder.
Well, yeah,
That guy is fucking great.
Word. Yeah, that. I love his animation, Tim Burton. I love just his movies. Like, Nightmare Before Christmas did not scare me. Like, I watched like bits and pieces. I've never watched the whole thing, because it's just I'm not into that stuff. Jack Skellington, not.
I mean, it wasn't a thing when I watched it, Jack Skellington wasn't like a fucking fad when I watched it,
He still is. You go to
Yeah.
Hot Topic, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's just Jack Skellington
like,
shit
chill.
everywhere. But that wasn't how it was when I first watched
No.
it, It was just the animation and stop motion animation in general, the
That's
way
true. Yeah.
characters move, the way the fucking puppets move and stuff. It's just creepy, especially for a kid that never seen anything like that before. It's eerie.
Like on that topic, The Grudge or like The Ring, the way they walk, like what are they called? Like holy fuck, I hate that shit when they're like on their all fours and they're like, there's a word
They're like
for
crawling.
yeah, dude. Like,
Did you know that they fucking remade The Grudge?
yeah,
last
bad.
year.
Yeah, it's bad.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, don't watch it.
I mean, I wasn't gonna.
It's bad.
Because didn't they do this? Didn't they make The Ring again like 2 years ago?
Bad.
Yeah.
The Ring scared me when I was younger, but it's like I will never find that movie, so it's not really relative to me. But if that was a thing, fuck that.
I remember in The Ring when the girls, like when they find that girl in the beginning, and it shows her face and it's like all distorted.
Yeah.
I remember that creeped me out the first time I saw it. But other than that, the movie sucks.
I was
bet
young when I watched that.
I bet the Japanese version's probably better.
Oh,
I might have
fuck
actually seen The Ring in theaters. I don't remember.
Maybe. How much time we got?
Oh, we're good.
We're good.
Ready to call it?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody. That was everybody's top 3. I hope you all enjoyed.
Peace.